Shabbat Shalom, everyone. You know, in the most arcane texts of the Jewish tradition, sometimes we find the greatest meaning. Sometimes in the texts from the Bible or from the Talmud that create a lot of uncertainty and make us question what it's all about or wonder what's not being said in that. We're forced to do interpretations, and then out of that grows meaning. And that's something that's built on throughout the generations, and every generation brings its own questions and its own interpretations. We're reading in the Torah now from the book of Leviticus, and the parshiot that we're reading have to do with things that seem very, very arcane and almost irrelevant in our lives. Things like leprosy as it's defined in the Bible, and bodily emissions, etc. And there's a lot that has to do with the question of purity or impurity. And what we learn is that the impurity can be caused by certain skin diseases. And it doesn't only affect the person, but rather it also seems to affect the utensils that a person has and even the walls of their homes, etc. Seems silly in a way, but it's not. And we've learned some of that from our recent exposure to COVID. But there's something else that I want to mention. It has to do with the following. It's from a section in the Talmud where the rabbis ask the question about a piece of pottery that is considered to be impure. And if the pottery breaks, they ask, and the parts of the pieces of the pottery then are put back together again, is that considered to be pure if that original pottery was impure? And what they teach us is that, in fact, it is pure. And they tell us that in the new piece of pottery is not only pure, but the places of the cracks are even stronger. The metaphor is really clear. You know, where there's a broken bone, we heal, and that part of the bone is the strongest part of the bone. When we go through tough times, when we suffer, when we're challenged, when we fail, when we are ill, and then when we come back to life, it's so often that we come back even stronger. That experience teaches us so much. That hardship actually can be an inspiration to move forward and to be more sensitive and compassionate to others. And that's the goal. We know that we've been through hard times. We know that our elderly and our kids have been through such a difficult few years. Our challenge now is to take those hardships and allow those things to sensitize us to other people and to other difficulties, and to make our lives even better, holier, and kinder. Shabbat Shalom. I'll see you in Shalom.